Okay, at the time I was in a foster home. I was 16, okay? And back then, I was obsessed with MTV. Like, that is what I did. I would go to school, I'd come home and watch MTV. Like, hashtag lame life, okay? And that was when The Hills, the reality show, was like a hit, and I was obsessed. OMG, you don't even know. Okay, so I was sitting there watching the new episode of The Hills, and I paused it on the little DVR. It was actually a TiVo. We were using TiVo. And I was like, you know what? I want some ice cream. So I went and got some ice cream, and that was like when my binge eating and like hardcore overeating was in like full force, and where it just, that's a whole other story all in itself. And the bowl of ice cream that I got was quite big. I took a lot, let me just say that. So I was sitting there eating it. It was vanilla ice cream, if you want to know. And I was watching The Hills. I was enjoying my time. And my foster parents were not home. But my brother was home, my foster sister, and my brother's girlfriend, which was my foster sister's best friend. So they were all hanging out in the kitchen. I was kind of just like chilling by myself. That happened quite frequently, might I say. So I was just, watching The Hills, and I finished my ice cream, and I want to say like 10 minutes later, I started getting like the horrible shivers. Like, I was freezing, and I was shaking, like, hardcore. Like, my jaw was like, and I was like, so I went in my bedroom, and I got my blanket, which was a kitchen. That was really the only place me and my brother could stay in that foster home at that time. And since my brother and his girlfriend and my foster sister were all in the kitchen, they were right there by the room, and I was like shivering, and I just didn't feel right. So I got under my blanket, and I ended up putting on another shirt too. So I was wearing 2 pairs of pants and 2 shirts and my blanket. And I also had the living room blanket with me. And they were in there laughing and just doing their thing. And for some reason, like, I was getting really annoyed with them, because I wasn't feeling okay. And I was like, can you guys shut up? Like, I started screaming at them, and like, they were just like, okay, like, what the hell? And so me and my brother were sharing a room at the time, and I took his blanket and started using his blanket, and nothing was working. It was really weird. And it was a pretty early night. As you guys know now, like, I don't go to sleep until super, super, super late, like 4 a.m. I was like that too then. Like, it's been an ongoing thing. My sleeping schedule is really off. And when I was in high school, which was then, I'd probably go to sleep about 2 a.m., but it was like 9, and I was like tired. I don't know why. I didn't do anything different than usual. So as I was laying in bed, I just like fell asleep. And I mean, I must have been sleeping for a while, because I woke up the next day. It was the weekend, and it was probably, and obviously we all assumed I had the flu. So I went to sleep that night, and I slept for 2 days. It was probably, that's a little exaggeratory. It wasn't 2 days. Okay, I went to sleep that night. I slept that whole night. Then I slept that whole day. And then I slept that whole night. And then I woke up that morning. So it was like a day and a half. And everyone knew, like, I had the flu, so no one was like too worried. They weren't like trying to wake me up or anything. I do remember one point, my brother woke me up, and he was just like, sis, are you okay? And I was just like, I'm fine. Like, And I didn't eat at all. And when I did, sleep those day and a half, I puked a few times. That was the only time I woke up, was to puke. And so when I woke up, my brother was there, and he's like, what's going on? You've been sleeping? Like, are you hungry? I was like, no, I'm fine, but my leg really hurts. Like, it really hurts. And he's like, oh, okay, well, let me look. And he's like, ooh, why is it so red? And I was like, I don't know. It's probably just because I've been sleeping and I've been laying on it weird. And that's literally what I thought. And he goes, no, I don't think so. That kind of looks like what our foster dad had. And I'm like, what? And I wasn't sure what he was talking about. So he went and got my foster grandma, which also lived with us, and she came and looked, and she's like, ooh, we gotta tell so-and-so, which was my foster mom. I don't really want to use names for some reason. So I was like, okay, like, why? And she's like, this is no good. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, this is what your foster dad had. And I was like, well, what did he have? And she was just like, he was really sick. She didn't really tell me what it was. And I was just like, okay. And then I went back to sleep. And the next day, my foster mom was like, okay, we're going to go to the hospital. We need to get this figured out. And it was worse. My leg was swollen, and it was like this hard, reddish, purplish, just like my whole calf. Like, oh, I can't explain it. And they're like, do you have any scabs on your feet? Do you have any cuts on your leg? Like, what could have caused this? And I explained to them the only thing that I can remember happening was I stubbed my toe, my big toe, really hard on wood, like the day before I got really sick. And they're like, bingo. And I was like, huh? Because I stubbed my toe, I'm like on my deathbed, like, what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So the issue is, anyone at any size could get cellulitis, but the fact that I was gaining weight really rapidly at that age, and me stubbing my toe caused like a little chemical reaction to happen. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, don't know. At this point, I don't care, but somehow me stubbing my toe caused this to happen. So they're like, we're going to put you on antibiotics, and that's going to clear it all away. You'll be able to eat again. You'll stop puking. You won't be in pain anymore. So what they did was they took a marker and they marked exactly the outline of my cellulitis. And I was like, okay. So antibiotics, I normally don't take medicine, but I'm literally dying right now. Because the doctor said, like, people die from cellulitis frequently, all the time, because they don't get the help they need, their temperature goes too high, etc., etc., etc. So, got the outline, got the medicine, went home. I finally decided to try to eat. It was actually the next day. And I was, I've been drinking water. That's the only thing I was putting into my body. And the doctor told me that's not okay, because especially with this antibiotic, I was going to need it because it was going to make me feel even worse, because the antibiotic was going to make me feel nauseous. I was like, oh, great. I already feel nauseous. Like, cool. What are they trying to do to me? And so he's like, you need to eat. And since I was going to start taking that antibiotic that day, like, I wouldn't say like I blacked out as in passed out, but it's like I almost forgot what I was doing. And the noodles and the broth went all over me. Boiling hot, might I say. Just came out of the microwave. And thankfully I didn't get burned or anything, because I didn't have it in the microwave for too long. But that's when I knew. I was like, damn, like, I ain't feeling good at all. So I just went in the refrigerator. I ate a piece of bologna. I didn't even care anymore. And I ended up puking it all up. But I was taking my antibiotics. So I had to miss about a week of school. After about 5 days, we went back to the doctor, because the outline they made on my leg, my cellulitis wasn't getting smaller, it was getting bigger. I was feeling worse. I was eating less and less and less. Like, I wasn't eating at all, but like when I got the antibiotics, like I said, I was trying to eat a little bit, but then I like stopped, and the pain was getting worse. I was sleeping more, like, everything was just getting worse. And I went to the doctor, and they said these antibiotics are not working. And I was like, oh, okay. And they said, you need to go to the hospital. And for some reason, when they said that to me, I freaked out. I started hysterically crying, and I really don't know why. I think it's because the whole, like, people die from cellulitis, and I wasn't getting better, and, like, I hated myself, and I was like, why did I do this to myself? It wasn't even my fault. Like, everyone stubs their foot. Like, it happens. And the doctor said that my temperature was 105 and that he didn't know how I was even functioning. So I was rushed to the hospital and they put an IV in me. Like, it was like a whole thing. And they said that the IV that I had, they were giving me a stronger, different type of antibiotic. So I was going to feel exceptionally nauseous, but they didn't even want me to eat. Like, they weren't even focused on that in any shape, way, or form. They just wanted me to get better. And so they said that they're going to give me that antibiotic through the IV just so I could, oh my God, because really the antibiotic did make me feel worse, really, really worse. And every day I slowly got better, and I started to eat more, and I started to drink more. I was sleeping accurately. I was still in a lot of pain. I couldn't go to school. I missed about a month and a half of school. It was scary. It was one of the scariest things ever. And something that was actually funny about the whole thing, like, my leg was so swollen and so bad that when it was healing, my skin just peeled off, like, in big goops. It was disgusting. It was horrible. And I I feel like I had an accent there for a minute. I actually ended up getting cellulitis one other time after that, nowhere near as bad. And my doctor at the time knew exactly what antibiotic to put me on, and I was able to actually get better less than a week because I knew it was coming before it came. Really weird. Like, I just finally knew. And my foster dad and my foster dad's brother both have had cellulitis, and that's how my foster mom knew, like, a lot about it and knew that I had to go to the doctor, and that's why my foster grandma knew, like, we need to get you checked out. And I'm just grateful it only lasted a month and a half. I'm grateful I only had to stay at the hospital for a couple days because my foster dad's brother actually was hospitalized for 5 months because of it. It's not something anyone should ever go through. It honestly scared me because when I was rushed to the hospital, like, I could have died. 105 temperatures, really scary. And I am very grateful for my foster mom to be there by my side the whole time. And yeah, like, it was scary. And it's definitely something I worry about frequently whenever I'm scratched on the leg or whenever I stub my toe. I'm scared to get it again because I don't have insurance and I don't have the money for antibiotics. I don't have the money to just go. Wondering if I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. It was just like one standalone incident that happened that kind of has created a little spot in my mind, in my heart. It has imprinted on me. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay. So Feline and I, we were hanging out with some people. It was in the apartment. And I hadn't ate that day. I know when I say, oh, I haven't ate today yet, people like to say that I'm lying. It's not true. I'm actually telling the truth, okay? I'm not lying. So I do that a lot where I won't eat for hours. And that is kind of bad. I need to get better with that. And I am getting better with that because with weight loss surgery, my dietitian wants me to eat 6 times a day. And that means right when I wake up, or around that timeline. One of the times it needs to be then, because when you wait a long time to eat, especially hours and hours, when you finally do eat, some people, they either eat too fast, whatever it may be, and you end up eating too much, blah, blah, blah. So I had woken up that day around 10 a.m. and my first meal wasn't until 7 p.m. I never wait that long, ever. And the only reason why it happened is because we had people over and they weren't hungry. We weren't eating. I don't like eating in front of guests. That's just not something I do. So I had waited a long time to eat. Finally, when I did eat, this was actually around the time I was still doing takeout. And it was just a really good episode. We were, just enjoying our night, eating in front of the TV. Feline did not get seafood boil. She actually ended up getting pizza. And we were just enjoying our night. And I have a really bad habit of eating really fast, and I don't chew a lot. I need to chew my food more. It's something I have definitely been trying to work on. I take really big bites. Also, something else I'm working on. These are things that I am working on. And it's crazy because when my mom came to visit me a couple years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer, I hadn't seen her since I was 18. So there was 12 years where I hadn't seen her. And just like seeing her as like a sober, amazing woman, and then me just being an adult finally, I saw so much of myself in my mom and vice versa. And she's the same way. She takes big bites. She eats super fast. She doesn't chew that much. Like, we're literally the same in that. So we just thought that was funny and humorous. But there comes a time where that like no longer becomes funny. So I was watching the show and all of a sudden it felt like someone literally took my invisible oxygen cord of life and completely cut it off. They just took it, cut it. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I was choking on a very big piece of potato that I literally didn't chew. And I know for a lot of people, this is probably humorous. There's probably going to be memes, drawings about it. Hitting on Feline's arm, going like this. She was like confused. She didn't know what to do. I had no way to communicate to her what was happening. I physically couldn't. It literally, like, that's literally the best way to describe it, is like someone took like the cord of life and just cut it. And once she realized what was happening, she was trying to get behind me, and I actually all the food ended up spilling all over the floor. Like my seafood boil, her pizza went all over the floor. As I was like not being able to breathe, not being able to communicate, I couldn't talk, couldn't cough. Like there was physically no way for me to get the food dislodged. My whole body went cold. I started feeling like all over my body, just like needles were going inside of me. And my vision, I started seeing dots and like splotches. And this is the part that like, I literally would have died without her. I lost control of my bowels and I pooped my pants. I was like actually dying. Like people die of choking every single day. And it was honestly terrifying. If she wasn't there, I would have died. And that's like so hard for me to like wrap my head around. So obviously I'm a bigger body and I don't know if like CPR, Heimlich, whatever it may be, would have worked, but she started beating on my back, like beating. And thankfully by doing that, I think it dislodged and I ended up puking out it was like a potato this big. Dislodged. It just like went across the room. And I know for a lot of people, this is going to be funny. It's going to be humorous. It's going to be something that people make usernames about and make fun of me about for a long time. But reality is I could have died that day. And that's a crazy way to go. Choking on a potato. Like in my lifetime, I've always, you swallow water down the wrong pipe and, that pain you feel like, oh, I went down the wrong tube or whatever people say. Or like, you swallow wrong. Usually she's very fragile with me, but she was like wailing on my back. And that's the biggest advice I can give to anybody who sees someone my size choking. If you feel like you cannot give them the Heimlich, in between the shoulder blades with the palm of your hand, beat on it, because it helps dislodge the airways. I really thought I was dying. I was dying. And it was I just can't even put into words like how terrifying it is. Like, it's just, you hear of people dying from choking all the time, and I just never understood it. And now it's like I get it, and it's scary. And ever since then, I try harder to focus on my food while I'm eating, and I try to chew more, and I haven't ordered takeout as much. That situation actually made me realize, like, me being too big for a Heimlich maneuver, like, I gotta get smaller, I gotta get healthier, and need to focus more while I'm eating, and not so much on like the TV or YouTube while I'm eating, and like really truly just like focus on the food. And I just think people need to be more careful and just truly pay attention while they're eating. I know a lot of people like to sit down, you know, have their Netflix on and like eat their food, and they're not really like paying attention. And it's just really, really scary, because I actually know someone from when I was 19 who died from choking. And that's like terrifying. It's just really scary, and it is a thing. And I'm just so grateful for Feline. And it's scary. And it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, because it's like, not only am I fat and you had to beat on my back, but like I choked on a potato and shit my pants and almost like died in front of you. Like, it was traumatizing. I could not stop crying. And Feline just like held on to me, and I held on to her. And it was scary. It was very, very scary. And I'm just very grateful to be here and to be alive and to be breathing and to have another chance at just like trying again and trying again. It's just like, ever since that moment, I just have never felt so grateful to be alive. Like, I know I went through cancer. I've gone through several scares, like cellulitis so bad in high school. I almost died. I was hospitalized because it just like wouldn't go away. Like, I have been through some scary situations, but it's like, I actually saw life flash before my eyes when I could not breathe. I could not speak. And it was just really scary. I just can't stop saying that. I cannot stress that enough, that it was just terrifying and scary. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I did mention it, and I just feel so grateful to just be here to share that. And I'm sure a lot of people have gone through things as well where they like saw life flash before their eyes. So I'm sure you guys can.
Mine, and then it was just like a in the junk drawer phone for in case like anyone's really that desperate. And he was afraid he was gonna have to use a flip phone, but my sister gave him that one. And he kept calling me because he doesn't know how to work an Android phone.
It's just this whole thing. So literally, we've done nothing today.
We went to McDonald's.
Okay, that's it.
And that's it. That's the only place we've been today besides here in this bed.
And this is the first time this has ever happened in easily over a month. Like, I usually go somewhere every single day, on the run, on the go.
Yeah, like last Wednesday, we weren't supposed to do anything, and then she decided we wanted to go to Ryan's, and then we went to the hospital.
Yeah, hospital for her chest. How's your chest feeling today, by the way?
It's good. It's good.
It's better? It's good. You always say it's good. I want to know if it's better.
It is better. It is good.
It's better. So, I want to talk to you guys about a few things. As you guys know, I do Vlogmas every single year. And it's been really hard to vlog daily and upload daily ever since I started working. So, wow, the lighting in here is horrendous always.
I only have the little one on.
Do I have a gray hair? Oh! Destiny! I have a fucking gray hair, or it's like super gold. Oh my god.
Baby, it's probably stress, okay?
No! Hold this. Hold this for me. December. And upload every single day in December. I don't know if I should like start trying to practice that routine, vlog every day, try to upload every day. It's just rough, you guys. Destiny always has Why do you have salt right there?
You had the salt in here.
No. This is not a booger. It's my nose ring ball. So I'm gonna go pluck this gray hair. We're gonna go make dinner here in a minute. we're gonna have chicken Alfredo. I always make the chicken, she does the sauce and the pasta. So she gets the easy part, I get the rough part. Hello everybody. Okay, so if you hear barking in the background, that is Leia barking. My roommate is trying to kennel train her because we all work, so I mean, what are we gonna do? We can't take the dog with us to work. When we leave Leia here, she poops and pees and chews and tears and breaks everything. We need to train her to be more mature, if you will, because she's still a puppy, so of course she's gonna be doing things like that. I feel really bad hearing her in there, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I noticed that being on Weight Watchers, it's an amazing weight loss program. It works for everybody. Okay, it works for a lot of people. I'm not gonna say everybody because everybody is different. When you have binge eating disorder like I do, when I come home from work, a long day at work, and I am starving to death, and I have like 30 points left because they give me such a big amount. I come home and I'm like, okay, I have 30 points. I'm supposed to be sitting here eating salads and fruits as well as other things in moderation. So how do I eat my 30 points, 35 points, while also eating on anything, counting calories, or I don't know what it is. I really don't. So I was paying for Weight Watchers. I still currently am paying for Weight Watchers. But today I'm not following Weight Watchers at all. I'm just going to follow my heart. Just eat like a normal person. Eat less. By doing that, I'll be able to eat my fruits and vegetables without feeling like, oh my God, I can't because I'm sitting here binging because I'm already eating all this food because I have so many points. Wasabi. My lord, my Lanta. So what I wanted to do is film every single thing that I put into my mouth today for you guys. I do work today, so FYI, when it comes to the food at work, I don't cook there. I don't choose what to eat there. Nothing like that. We can't bring our own food because that is the residence refrigerator, if you will, and we can't put our food in the refrigerator. And I'm there for like 10 hours. We do eat, if there's leftovers, of course, we eat their food. All the employees do. So when you guys see that, it's hard for me sometimes to choose wisely there because they don't cook the healthiest. When I eat there, that's technically my lunch, but it's their dinner. Normally I will eat breakfast, I eat lunch, I eat dinner, and then I have like a snack. So I'm gonna show you every single thing that I eat today without counting calories, without counting points, and just purely going by what I feel my body needs within the options that I have. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna say sorry ahead of time about the lighting. So for breakfast, I am having a pizza bologna with 2 eggs.
That's not the knife.
No, it's not. I literally stabbed myself and I was gushing blood. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, and I started crying and freaking out. I had a puddle of blood.
She did.
It
was
my
full.
hand.
Like, it was bleeding pretty bad.
Like, I've never in my life done anything like this before.
I got it pretty
And if
under
you
control.
open this...
See, look, this is how big the puddle was. Open it.
Well, you can't tell because I rinsed my hand for like 10 years.
It bled for a while, though, but I got it to stop.
When you open it, you see the flesh,
okay.
And it's super deep. Like, I have never in my life done something like this.
We have to go to Walmart and get her some
but I need to
gauze
eat first.
and hand wrap. But
like,
she wants to eat first.
I'm trying to make this salad, and for some reason, God stopped me. But I don't care. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to eat my salad. But this hurts so bad. My whole hand is numb. Like, right here is swollen as fuck.
Yeah, like, because it's freshly stabbed wound. It's not going to be...
I have literally skin coming out of me. What is that? So the salad has spinach, my balsamic vinaigrette, it has avocado, radish, strawberries, scallions, and there's some carrots. I forgot to say I also have some cucumber. Destiny went into Walmart, even though we were just at Walmart. That's where I got the freaking avocado that ruined my life. And I'm sitting here with my hand on a towel. It hurts so bad. She went in there to get like stuff to wrap my hand in. I don't know. It's not looking good. I don't know. Like I keep saying, I don't know if I should go to the hospital. I don't know if they'd give me stitches. Da, 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 because literally it is so deep. When I open it, I see things that I don't want to see. It is kind of hurt a little bit with it, and like there's like numbness a little. I'm just hoping that once I wrap this up, it just naturally heals, because the human body does heal pretty freaking quickly. I'm wishing for the best. I'm wishing for the best. So I ended up coming to the hospital. I got a tetanus shot just in case, and they're about to give me stitches. This is the first time in my life I have ever have gotten stitches or needed to or anything, and I'm terrified, and I knew the cut was pretty bad, so I'm glad I came so I can get it all fixed, but I'm really scared. So this happened. I got freaking stitches, and I was the biggest baby about it, but I had a student like do it, and she was so patient, and